Alrighty, guys, welcome back to Project Intent. That was really, really corny. I want to do that again.
I'm Racquel, and I am camping out with Project Intent. My intent is to live with purpose and to discover your purpose at every stage and level in life.
And you do that, right? Like, I hear you fire with the pen, too. Like, we are camping out by the fire with Racquel John. Racquel, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. No, seriously, thank you for coming, for real, for real.
Absolutely.
Your vibe is super dope. I've heard her laugh more than I've heard her speak.
Yo, that's true. That's facts. That's facts.
So what we learned today, we're learning together. So Racquel, you really, as a person, just from watching you or seeing you and interacting in the spaces that we have had the opportunity to be around each other, I know you are a vibe. I could tell that you really have done internal work. I say that.
Oh, thank you.
Like you're doing the work, you know? Like it's a thing. So for the people that don't know who Racquel is, Racquel, she is an artist, a multifaceted artist. So I'm not gonna box you in by trying to give you a, introduction, but like what do you do right now?
Right now? Oh gosh, okay. I act, I paint, and I write. So I have, I write a lot. I don't know, I kind of like discovered that later on in my life with writing because I used to hate writing as a kid. Gosh, you cannot get me to do no essays for English class. I was like, please, no. But I really do enjoy writing. But, and I coach actors as well, which kind of popped up.
She's fire. She's fire for, I can vouch. Go ahead.
Thank you. I'm just a creative. Whatever like is placed on my spirit to do, I'm just gonna go for it and try it. But it's typically within the arts.
I love that. Have you always been, I believe that all humans are creative, or we possess like the creative ability, because the highest to procreate, you know what I'm saying? Like we are creators. But have you always like tapped into your talents?
Gosh, no. Honestly, growing up, I was very quiet. I was very shy. I used to be bullied in school, so I was the loner.
Where did you grow up? Here?
I grew up in Georgia. I was born in New York, but grew up here.
This is the craziest thing, because you're like this is the story of like the last 5 people. Jordan's from New York, Atlanta. Soleil inside, she's from New York, Atlanta. It's crazy how that.
Are you serious?
Yes, and y'all are so dope, because I only invite people here who are just like dope. So it might just be like the pipeline. That's crazy.
That is insane. Yeah, my mom, she didn't want to raise a family in New York because she grew up in New York and all that stuff. She wanted us to have a different experience. So, but I was bullied a lot in school, and so I was like a loner. I was to myself. So it was just, spent a lot of time with myself, but I also spent a lot of time with my family, very, very close. So the most I explored in tapping into anything in the arts was like, as a kid, we would do like home videos for my parents, and we would like recreate movie scenes or recreate any, stuff like that. Now, I didn't know that later on down my life, I was going to become like acting. I didn't have that that type of creative bone in my body that I was aware of. Neither did I see it for painting, and definitely not writing. But it just happened. My mom did tell me though, she said, I used to like to teach my brothers all the time. Like I would have a play classroom and we'd like have a little chalkboard and like teach them stuff.
Are you the oldest?
Yes.
Okay. I am too.
Yes,
that makes sense.
Listen, had to teach them young children, okay?
And I bet the age gap isn't even crazy.
Well, between me and my younger brother, it's like 8 years.
That me and my sister too.
Really?
Yeah, I don't want to date myself. I always do this because we look so young.
We do.
It's like but I'll say this: it's an 8-year gap, and my sister is 23.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Crazy.
Yeah. Absolutely. So yeah, I kind of discovered all of these as I went along. When it came to painting, I took and if I talk too much, you just go ahead and stop me.
No, this is what this is for. Keep talking.
Okay.
I love it.
How I got into painting was I was in high school. I had to take an extra elective. And I had to find one quickly because the schedule was getting ready to go for the new year. And so the only thing that was available was an art class. And I said, I guess I got to take this art class. I don't know anything about art. So I took the class. I'm in the class doing the work, don't know what I'm doing, just putting stuff together. And the teacher's like, you're amazing. You have an eye for design. I was like, what are you talking about? Like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And she was like, no, you're so talented. And then I finished the course, I passed, and she's like, you should apply for AP Art. I said, what? I heard of AP, you know, AP Lit, AP, all that. I'm like, but not AP Art. I said, AP Art. I said, okay. I applied, not thinking anything of it, and I get in. And so that really changed my perspective on painting, and I just kind of like dived in. Now, I don't paint people. I'm an abstract, like linear optical illusion artist.
I've seen some of your pieces.
Yeah, it's like
also
trippy.
Super dope. Like,
it'll mess with your eyes. And so I did AP Art for 2 years and fell in love with it for that perspective. But I tried to get into a couple of art schools. They wouldn't take me. It's okay though.
Because look at you now.
Right. Yeah, if I had went to art school, I would have never tapped into acting. So how I got into acting was I went with my brother to his audition. So Isaiah was the one who was like got bit by the acting bug. He knew from like 4. He was like, I'm an entertainer.
Word.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, he told his teachers, I'm an entertainer. I'm gonna, like, that's what he talks about. The fact that he knew that is so crazy. But I went with him to an audition. It was me, him, and my mom. And back then he had hair down his back. So like some people sometimes thought he was a girl. So they thought he was a girl. And so my mom's like, no, but I do have a daughter. And I was like, I looked at her, I said, Mom, I'm gonna be a famous painter. I don't know about this acting business. I said, I don't even know what I'm doing. She coached me through this audition, literally on the spot. And I came back for a callback and all that stuff, and I ended up booking the lead of this independent project.
Hold on, the first ever audition that you ever auditioned for, you booked the role.
Yes.
Can I just okay, we're gonna get back into the story, but I just, these things excite me because it's like what's for you is always for you, right?
Yeah.
So for you having to pick an elective, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you picked art and, you know, it led you down this path. There's nothing that's coincidental, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's like, alignment is crazy.
Yeah.
And every turn that you take, it sculpts the person that you are, you know what I'm saying? So back to the, I'm Racquel and I book what I want. Like, so you booked it.
I booked it and I had no idea what I was getting myself into. I didn't take a class in the process. I literally had no clue. Like, it was a horrendous process for me. I cried. They said, you gotta memorize this monologue. I said, what is this? And I literally...
You cried because you had to memorize it?
Yes, because I did not know what this world was.
Okay.
I was brand new.
How old were you?
I was 19.
Okay.
I was 19 years old. And I was just like, what is this? But after the process of filming, which took a couple of months, after the process of filming, I said, I want to give this a try. Because after I started, like, I got to work with Robin Givens on that project.
What?
Like, yeah, she played my mom.
It's just wild. On her, I just want you to hear, like, for those of you that are not actors, but also for those of you that are actors, like, this journey is wild, but your first ever audition, you book, and you play with Robin Givens.
Yeah. Which was very intense, because she's so good. And I was like, I'm sorry, I don't know what I'm doing. I felt so, like, bad. Like, I felt so unqualified in a sense, but it was a new world. I had no clue what I was doing. But after we finished production, I said, you know what, maybe I'll give this a try. So I put a pin on, like, I didn't look for any other acting gigs. I said, no, I need to understand this. I need to study. Anything I do, I'm going to do it right. So I'm going to study and make sure I'm prepared for it. Because I love being prepared. Like, I don't like not like being unprepared for something. So I'm like, okay, give this your all, respect the craft, like respect the people before you who've done this and things like that. So I spent 4 years studying before I went back to going to audition.
Really?
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah.
I'm gonna come up with more terminology talking to you. What's another word for dope? That is super lit. No, that's inspiring. Like, you're doing what you're doing with respect for the craft. Like, you were blessed enough, right, to start with your, like, start fast, you know, but instead of, like, I don't even use like letting it get to your head or getting comfortable.
Yeah.
Like you did the work, and
Yeah.
now you're here, which is where? Question mark.
Where? What do you mean?
So like, where are we in this journey of acting?
Oh gosh. Okay, from a sense of an artist, I feel free.
Mhm.
I feel more aware. I feel more rooted and grounded in my way of approaching a character. I feel like now I see my eye in this and my voice in this. I'm at the point of developing the voice
Mhm.
and like standing in that voice fully. I know what I like. I know what I don't.
Mhm.
I know what I want. I know what I don't want.
Mhm.
I'm okay with saying no. But I've always been okay with saying no,
Okay.
and that's part of the problem. But then again, it's not the problem.
Mhm.
Because of how, like, I grew up with boys, so saying no to things, standing firm on things was never hard, but also because of my parents. My dad is from Trinidad,
Mhm.
and my mother is from New York.
Mhm.
I got tough skin.
Mhm.
And so when they taught us to be leaders, they were like, you be the leader, don't follow anybody. So if something didn't feel right, I would say, no, I'm not gonna do this. So I'm at the point where I was like, I'm stepping into my voice as an artist, and I wanna do more meaningful projects. It has to have a purpose, it has to have a meaning. Now I will do things that I've maybe never done before, like if it's like action packed and I'm like, ooh, I wanna try this world or something like that. But I'm very much so in the space of like what feels right, what feels good, and what aligns with my purpose.
See, like knowing any facet of this life, right? It doesn't matter if you're a creative, but as a creative, it's like knowing who you are, knowing the why, right? Knowing what drives you is going to be super detrimental to not only your success, but the way that you experience your quality of life.
Yeah.
It's like, I was talking to Soleil, somebody
Yeah.
I had on this beautiful, beautiful fire pit. I gotta learn more words. I read a lot, and it's like they're not coming out.
It's okay. You're
Beautiful,
good.
lit, dope. Cool. But no, it's just like, man, it's a almost like a superpower, because there's so many people that are roaming this world blind, you know, and it's not their fault. It's like that's not the terminology I want to use, but it's like, not everybody knows who they are, and it doesn't even matter how old they are. It's like, but knowing that guides you and places you in alignment, and it's so dope. And to see, when I see, again, age doesn't matter, but when I see younger kids because you can feel somebody before they announce themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could just laugh. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, yo, there's a light. That's a light. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
There's people who are, the term is not enlightened, but they are light. Like, you know what I'm saying? And in order for your light to shine, you have to turn that switch on, and that switch, you have to know who you are and why you're doing what you're doing. So, super dope.
Thank you.
Super cool. Beautiful.
Yeah, finding that light within was its own journey and process. I had to have a lot of conversations with myself. I was very, very, very insecure, very shy, I had to find my footing and my ground where I felt like, wow, you're good at this. Because I went for a long time not feeling like I was good at anything, honestly. And I didn't have much hope for myself for what I wanted to do in life. I didn't feel like much was possible, honestly. So I think it's interesting how the things that I'm actually good at found me. And then I end up accepting it versus running away from it, because along the journey you'll have people tell you things and say, you know, to try to veer you in a different direction or to discourage you, but you have to just like stay grounded within, well, this came to me for a reason, let me like explore it a little bit more and then find my voice in it. How do I find my safe space within this? And getting to the light of it all, it's like really a lot of self-work. I do so much self-work. I almost say, should you take a break today? Because like it's every day. And then when I learned it, I'm like, guess what, guys? We should do this.
But here's the thing. I'm gonna pause real quick. Jordan, can we turn the flicker a little bit less than? It's like throwing me off a little bit. I can't. I guess supposed to be the effect of the fire.
Yeah.
So I get it, but I'm trying to be here, and I'm like, yeah. Okay. This is movie magic, y'all. Thank you so much. Can we run it back? What were you saying right
Yeah.
before? What did you say right before? Because it triggered something, and then.
Dang. I was talking about, how people can veer you, like their comments can veer you into a different direction, but you got to just stay firm in yourself and say, no, this came to me for a reason, because not everyone's going to understand your purpose,
Yes.
the plan wasn't revealed to them. So everyone's going to have an opinion about what you're doing because they have an opinion, because it's a reflection of their own path in life.
Man, and people project, whether or not they are aware of it or not, but it's like you have to be so firm and planted and grounded in who you are, that this is why you don't I don't share everything anymore, like when it first happens, because when ideas, first come about, it's very sensitive, right? It's like a baby, right? You have to plant, water, tend to. So you have to be very careful who you allow energetically in your space. But when you do open up and talk to people, not everybody still is going to have your same mindset, but it's perspective. And it's like, it's beautiful, because all these conversations tie into each other, because it's like perspective, man, perspective. It's not false. Everybody says the same thing. The man that thinks he can, the man that thinks he can't, they're both right. And it's like, you have to, I say this all the time, and I'm going to get this tatted, because I love tattoos, but also because remember that you can forget, right? Going back to you saying, should I take a break from this inner work? Okay, here, I got it, I remember. All right, boom, when you were saying, damn, it's gone. No. Teaching, okay, so when you were saying, like, when you do the work and you just want to share and you want to da-da-da-da, it's like the inspire. I say that all the time because it's true, and it's like, it's so powerful. Like, the knowledge is cool and all, but it's wisdom. It's how we are able to apply it in our, day-to-day life, because we can have all of this information, but what I say is, like, okay, I get so excited when I get this. I get so pumped, and I'm a researcher too. I go, I study. I'm like, I'm an extremist. I get into these pockets where it's just like, okay, boom, I'm here, da-da-da-da. But it's like, okay, you have to do the work, and it's not necessarily speaking it, it's in your actions, and people will see that in you, and then, want to know, what is your philosophy in life? How do you, and then you can share when people are more receptive to. But it's like, you have to, because knowing it, like, man, I know what it is all day, every day. Like, I know, I see me, right? I know what's up. This is the journey. So I have to remember that I can forget, because it's like, we do the work, we do the inner work, but then you can go outside and there's distractions everywhere, and you can be in a good place, but then you forget. It's almost like a dream. You get so immersed in it where it's like you forget, and then something happens where you remember, and it's like, damn, I forgot to remember, So it's like, duh.
I literally just recorded a video for my newsletter about this, and it goes in line with what you're saying about not downplaying your desires. Like, because along our life, like, in the midst of wanting something and desiring it, we make pit stops. And the pit stop is not, sometimes, because of how the society is set up and the system is created, we can look at that pit stop and be like, oh, maybe I'm meant to do this. And you will forget or even downplay your desires in the midst of these pit stops, when in reality, all we're supposed to do is, like, gain the skill sets that we need from this space, and then to keep on moving on. Like, not getting stuck in the cycle of it all, because then that stops us from learning and growing and elevating. And also not to be so harsh on ourselves with whatever phase or level we're at in our life, because life is like this. Literally. And that's just what it is.
That's just what it is. That's just what it is. And it's like, not being so, it's like, bro, there's highs and there's lows. It's the pendulum swing. So it's like, learning to find that balance. It's a daily work. You can't just, like, it's literally work, but, like, it's play, right? So I don't believe in working. I do things that require effort and energy, but it's what I want to do, right? And the pit stop, that's a great analogy, or a great, like, that's so dope, because it's like, man, so many times it's like, okay, it feels right, we get comfortable, complacent, and that's why it's so important to remember the why, right? Like, you have to know your why, and it has to be so strong, and nothing else matters, because that's going to drive every decision that you make daily, weekly, from minute to minute, moment to moment. It's like, bro, we're human. Yes, we're not always going to be in that perfect pocket, but it's like, we know what's up. So, and it's important to surround yourself with people who think like this as well, because honestly, this is common, now that I'm in this space, and I'm not going to say that majority of people don't think like this, because I don't know what majority of people think like, but I
True.
know the people that I'm around now.
Yeah.
But these weren't the people I was around before, but I also wasn't thinking like that before.
Yeah.
So it's like alignment. All of this
Yeah.
energy is so real.
Girl, the energy is real, okay? You can feel that stuff miles away. I'm like, oh.
Are you very sensitive to energy?
Oh, a little too sensitive
Really?
sometimes. Like, I would say I'm an empath. I can see, but I've always been this way. Sometimes I want to just tell the world about it because it's nothing to fear. But my grandmother was very spiritual, so I grew up in a spiritual atmosphere growing up. So I was always very much so sensitive to energy, shifts, spirits, whatever. But yeah, I can definitely feel a lot of things in different spaces for sure. Yeah.
I felt that. Now, I'm also remembering as I'm talking to you, I'm doing the 75 hard challenge, which I want to talk to you about on camera, but I'm very behind on water. So I have to finish this bottle while we're here. So I'll be, chugging every so often. Before I get to there, going back to the spiritual aspect of this world, it's like, okay, the more that you tap into you and what this is, it's like you understand that like we really are, it's very similar to a dream, right? It's like right. When you understand, it's like your external is really truly a clear depiction of what you got going on. You know what I'm saying? And it's meant for us to go into these loops, and so that we can break the loops, because it's like until we can recognize the pattern or the problem, you know what I'm saying, we're not going to be able to get up out of it. And you can tell somebody, it's so easy to see from the outside, but when you're in it, it's like we have to go through these things, but being sensitive to like when you're out of that, or when you're aware of how this works and how this moves, you start to see like, okay, I do have more control over a lot of this. You know what I'm saying? It's like going from a victim mentality to a co-creator space. So.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think the hardest thing for at least for me, with my journey, was more so understanding that I had the power and control. But I also had to go back to some childhood things that really traumatized me, that made me feel less than, that took my power away. So I can go back and gain the power. So I had to face the little me. I had to face the little Racquel and say, hey, well, go back and get her and apologize. Sometimes we got to apologize to our little selves and just say, hey, collaborate with me. I'm ready to work with you, because they hold the key to our success.
Man.
The little us.
Man.
Watch children play.
Bruh.
Watch children create. Watch children live life. They are fearless.
It is, and this is, man, what, but also it's like, okay, so from the ages of 1 to 7, right? That's those are when we're programmed by things that we're not even aware of, right? So it's like there are certain things that are out of our control during those very fundamental years.
Yeah.
So it's like, and everything by design, right?
Yeah.
To learn your lessons. I believe I'm always learning and open to, knowledge. But like currently now I believe in karma. I believe in whether it be from this present cycle or another, like there's things that we don't have the answers to, or we don't know why, but this is what it is, right? So when we can get to a place to where we see like we're operating from our little self, our little hurt selves, again, apologizing or, integrating with, but also understanding, like giving yourself grace even at your big age, because at your big age, you're if you're not healed, you're still, people don't grow up numerically. Like it's a man, this shit is real. When you start looking at when I started looking at my mom as a human and not my mother, well, she's always my mother, but you know what I'm saying? When you see people for who they are, regardless of the title, regardless of the age, it's like, damn, we all really are here on our own journeys, and we have all of these hurts, and it's just like, man, I am also very sensitive to energy, but I'm just a sensitive ass person in general.
I cry all the time.
Man.
I was crying today.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was crying today.
No, I feel it. Little things touch my heart. Like I'll cry for like acts of kindness
Same
type of
here.
shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
here.
bitch, why are you crying right now? But it's beautiful.
I was on the subway in New York, and there was a homeless man, and I literally bawled on the subway. I was like, life doesn't have to be like this. And honestly, truly, it does not. That's what makes it sad. It does not have to be this hard.
Bro, but you know what? It's like people like you, people who are, it's like, man, you're showing, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody is just responsible for their part in the puzzle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I say this, I be repeating myself a lot, but it's like, no, these conversations, they always just like, it is what it is. Like, this is what it is. We are all domino pieces. So it's like, you got to do your part so that, I feel like we're almost responsible for a sector of individuals
1000%.
that we don't even know about.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's on you to do it. And if you imagine leaving here, dying, right? And not doing what you were supposed to do because of you were too busy like trying to get it right. And like, look, you're taking a test. Okay, you're taking a test. Boom. This is a lot of shit. You're taking a test. You got the answer key inside you, but you don't even know you got the answer key inside you. So you're looking over to your neighbor's test because they look smart. They look like they got the answer. So you copying their shit. You turn the answers in, and you got a completely different key. That's embarrassing. That is so embarrassing. You know what I'm saying?
I talked about this before too. I was like, everyone has their own blueprint. Everyone's looking for a blueprint, and everyone's like doing this big copy and paste. And it's like no one is standing in their own identity, or at least trying to figure it out, because they want to like be accepted. It all boils down to acceptance. That's it. It's literally, that's it. That is literally the biggest thing. Everybody on this planet wants acceptance, wants to be seen, wants to be heard. That's all we want as human beings. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for that validation. And so we're trying to fill that void. And in any way we can get it, we're trying to get it. And so to go against that grain of going through seasons where you're the underdog, going through seasons where no one sees you, going through seasons where no one cares about you, we're going through seasons where no one's checking for you, that you can stand in something. And it's like, that's the part, like that's the work, like doing that. Because there was 4 years of my acting career, I didn't book a thing. I wasn't.
This is not the hiatus. This is not the hiatus that you took.
Oh, no. So when the strike came, I said, buddy, I've been in a strike for 4 years. I was like, for me, I said, listen, and I understand there was so much panic, but I said, y'all, I've been living this life for the past 4 years.
Oh, man.
I said, I don't know what to say. I was like, because honestly, like, for 4 years of my career, nothing. I was auditioning, couldn't book a thing, nothing. And so I'm like, that mess with my self-esteem. That messed with a lot of things. I was booking like 2 movies a year, and like this was how I lived, you know. And so for that to go away, I was like, what do I do now? And going through that whole process. And so, but I'm grateful for it. I would not ask for a different path, because it helped me become this person that I am today.
Facts.
I don't regret it. I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't change it. There's nothing to change. I accept it for what it was. Just like bullying. I don't if I had to do it again, I'll do it again. Literally, because I learned a lot from it. I don't want to change the course of my development, because that's all we're here to do, is to learn and be, like you said, be a part of something bigger. We have a job to do here. And that's how I see my whole existence. It's for a purpose, for a reason. I meet people to help them unlock for a reason. It's really, I do these things. I am an artist. I like these things. But in deep down inside, I do believe in some way, it goes back to what my mom noticed about me as a kid, is that I'm a teacher. It took me a long time to get to that point to understand it, because I was like, no, I don't want to be a teacher. It's like I was trying to fight it. But I really am a teacher.
I believe it.
Yeah.
I've been in class. shout out ACTHER Studios. I've been in class. Racquel has been my teacher.
Listen.
And I'm learning today. So listen, as a teacher, you also know you're always a student. You know, in order to be a teacher, you have to. Once you decide that you're not a student anymore, you're not qualified to be a teacher.
Listen.
And that's just what you're. I could tell, and I don't know Racquel as very well, but energetically, I feel you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel you. So it's like, man, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you're doing your part. You're doing your part, and it's like, it's not work for you. It's play, because this is literally ingrained. And it's like, and that's a blessing to know, and that, man, you figured out your why, and then everything else, happens to, like, you don't chase, you know what I'm saying? You don't chase, you attract. Like, we hear these things over and over again, but you can hear something over and over and over again, and then one day it clicks. One day it resonates, and then it's like, oh shit. It's like, you can be speaking to people. Here's the journey. So, like, throughout this journey of life, it's like, I'll talk to people, and it's like, I hate using are we holding for wind? You don't hear it? Cool. Dope. Beautiful. Damn, I always lose these damn thoughts. Come on, bring it back, Sarah. Sarah. In this journey, okay, so this is not the proper verbiage, but bear with me, okay? So, levels. Well, I could be talking to you. You could be talking to me. That's what we're doing. But, like, you could be on a level 20, and I could be on a level 14. We can only talk on level 14. You know what I'm saying? We can only talk on level 14, and I'm not going to know at level 14, I'm not going to know that there's different, that you're on a different level, but you can only reach me where you can reach me. And as I've leveled up, I understand that you continue to level up. So there are people out here that know so much. There are people out here that are just operating differently. And I'm a seeker of truth. I'm a seeker of, like, man, I want to be able to maximize the experience, right? And not only for me, but for my loved ones, for the community, for the world. It's like, it really, we have these individual worlds, right? We have control over these worlds, but there's everybody with their own individual world, and we have a collective world that we're living in together. And I find a lot of people, I love people, I do, and I love people so much that it hurts to see them not live up to their full potential, or not know it don't gotta be like that. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, you can only do what you can do. And when you operate in there's worrying doesn't do anything. Worrying or stressing, it doesn't do anything.
Listen.
I'm listening, teacher.
It is, and the thing about what I'm learning about worry and stress is that it's in different departments. It's weird how we're one and many at the same time, right? There's you're from a spiritual standpoint, I don't worry, I don't stress, I feel very strong in, I'm eager to learn. I'm like, let's go, what lesson am I learning? Woohoo! I take it Then put me over here in a life situation, and I'm like, ooh, I get a little worried over here. Put me in an art situation, I won't worry. Put me in an acting situation, I won't worry. But we all have these different departments of life, and each level or each category you're trying to master. You're trying to master your skills, your spirit, yourself, and to get to the space of true healing and true operation. But I also think too, the number one thing why people may not self-reflect as much is fear, because it takes some time. You have to detox from people. You have to detox from certain situations or old ways or old habits, and you have to really hold yourself accountable. There's a period in time or a phase that we all go through where we have to hold ourselves accountable and really say, nah, we can't do this no more. No, that's not okay. Don't think like that. And you have to talk to yourself about that to really push through, because if we keep accepting certain things, we'll keep repeating the same thing.
And you got to be really sick of your shit to change. So it's you're going to keep repeating it until you're sick enough to change. Because, girl, man, when I realized that this was my problem, right? One of many, right? We're healing. We are healing. It's a process. But it's at every stage of my life, my childhood, I didn't enjoy, perspective-wise, I didn't enjoy my childhood. I was, and I'm so sensitive. I've always been sensitive, but there are certain things where you kind of just embody certain characteristics that aren't necessarily innate to you, but they've been put on you and you kind of like embody them. You know what I'm saying? So I forgive myself for what I did not know.
Yeah.
However, we are, you know, we're here, we're in this place. I be so engulfed in the conversation that I go a whole different direction.
No,
and
it's
that's
okay.
not where we were going. Where were we going with that? Damn. But I guess I just wanted to say I had a shitty childhood. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, this is my issue. One of many. We're back. I just always, okay, my child, I always knew I was going to be more than okay. Always knew.
Yeah.
Like, I had this sense of, like, I always knew I was it. You know what I'm saying? But during each stage of my life, I just knew it was going to get better the next. Childhood, not good. Teenage years would get better. Not my favorite. You know, it'll get better in college. And I guess from the outside looking in, you would never know how I'm feeling, you know what I'm saying, about my life, right? So when I hear people's perspectives of how I grew up, or like, you know, my experience of high school, or my experience, that's not what I was feeling. And it's crazy because it's like, that's the only thing that matters, your internal world. But I was always like, okay, it's gonna get better, it's gonna get better, without doing anything. And then I got to my 20s, the very end of my 20s, and I'm like, dog, this is like, I can't risk it, like, it's gonna get better, and on and on and on. Like, I have to figure this shit out. So segue into the Hard 75. I did the Hard 75 the first time like a year ago. This is a year and some ago.
Oh, wow.
And for discipline, really, because I always knew what I wanted to do. Like, Racquel, and I be talking my shit because I know, like, I am really good at what I do.
Oh, no, you are.
Like,
I know.
I write, I cook, I act, I rap, and it's the same muscle. And it's like, but you can have all of these passions and talents and not do anything with it. And it's like, nah, dog, I'm going to do what I'm here to do. And I really, somewhere along the lines, I lucked out. I won't even say lucked out, but in my journey, I don't give a fuck about, like, the external shit. Like, because I just really don't, because distractions, understanding that it's a distraction. So it's like, bro, if this is what matters and this is what's gonna allow me to elevate, I cannot be here. I was off of social media for a full year.
I love it.
I loved it so much. Man, when I tell you, it's just different.
Oh, it's a breath of fresh air.
It's just different. Even now, I only have I have social media for this project because I believe so much in what this is, because man, we are out here and it's a connecting piece, you know? But it's like, I find myself getting stuck too, and I have to like, all right, that's not what this is. And you can tell, like, and I'm not, when you compare, that's when you fucked up. But I'm not as bad as everybody else. But like, I be sometimes, you know, and it's like, no, that's not what this is. But I could tell the difference the days that I'm not interactive on social media, because it's like a split world. It's like, you cannot be lukewarm. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? Right. You cannot do it. No. That's crazy making. So, shit, we here, man. We really are.
You know, I understand that, because, like, with me, what I noticed that I have a bad habit of is, like, when I post a specific content for, like, the newsletter that I have, girl, first of all, I don't know what made me run 2 newsletters at the same time, but I did. I said, we here. Whatever comes to me, I'm doing it. That's what I told myself. But I run 2 newsletters, so what I have this habit of, like, checking my numbers. I'm like, oh, did this post do better than the last one? So is this what people want? And I'm like, stop it. I'm like, get off the computer. Like, you have to that's how I hold myself accountable. I'm like, stop it. And close the computer. Go do something. Go create more. Go write the next one. Go do this. Go do that. And then another thing too, what I'm learning that is so divine, that I said, oh my God, like, this is powerful, is that when God puts something on my heart and my spirit to do, I do it right then and there. I do not wait a second. When he sent me that message yesterday, I recorded it immediately. I said, all right, we're going to get it. Did it take me over an hour to record it? Absolutely. For 2 minutes. It's okay, because I was determined to get it done. But the impact of the message, it was divine time. There's divine time. And sometimes we get so caught up in our minds that we miss the time. Then we have to wait till the cycle comes back around again. And then by then, we could be in a different part. We could have veered off
a different space. It's like it's so important to interact right then and there, because you do grow. So even when it comes back and you're not in the same place, you're interacting with it differently. It doesn't hit the same.
It doesn't hit the same.
So it's like understanding how to be a vessel, like an open vessel, consistently. it's like we don't choose when, but we choose why, why, we choose all of the other elements except for the how,
Yep.
the when.
Yep.
Shit, we don't control that much, but we do control what we can control.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
The one thing we can't control, we think is the smallest thing, which is action.
That's huge.
We have to take action, but we really don't think about how powerful taking action is. Like once once that clear vision is there, go do it. Go do it. Go for it. Go now. Like don't wait. Go call. Make that call. Reach out to that person. Go do it now.
Bro, let me tell you something. I got a couple things to tell you, and I probably will only be able to get one because the way my brain is thinking, I got to commit to one. Which one? Where are we going with this? Where are we going with this? Okay, I think I can do both. Let's see. Okay, so ideas. I always say they're like babies, right? So it's like they bet on you, right? Like vibrationally where you are at that time, they think that you are going to be a vessel to be able to bring them into the world. So they bet on you, but if you don't support them enough, listen, they out of there.
They're like, we got to find somebody else.
Right. Or you know what I'm saying? Like it's not, they're not your own, you know? And again, timing. It's like little things like my sister's birthday, one of my sister's birthdays in, I just thought, like, should I be giving personal information out? Like,
it's over within a year.
So my sister has a birthday that falls on a date, right? So this was like last year, or like this was like last year. So I something told me to randomly like send her birthday, like money for her birthday gift. So I sent her money for her birthday gift, and she was like, "Yo, thank you so much. Like, where did that come from?" Like, I was like, "Your birthday." She's like, "You know, my birthday's in like 4 days." I was like, "No, I didn't." But she needed that money then and there. So it's like little things like that, where it's like you have these inclinations to act on something you don't know why. It don't matter. Like, do it.
Do it.
Just do it.
Do it, because it literally will open up the world, and then you will be, now you're unlocking another level to yourself. Anytime you listen to that, it's being obedient to that inner spirit, to the Holy Spirit, honestly, like that just going after it. Because I learned, like, there's so many times I felt to do something and I didn't do it, and then boy oh boy did I regret it afterwards. I was like, oh, I should have done it, because you feel it. Because it's part of something you're supposed to do. And so it's like, that's like my new thing for this year, is to whatever drops in my spirit to do, I'm going to do it.
Yep.
Like, I got a lot on my plate, but hey, that's what was placed on my spirit to do.
And you are capable of everything, like everything. The corny cliches, or they're cliches for a reason, but that the God will never give you too much. I be fucking up shit all the time.
Girl,
but
me
like,
too. It's
I
okay.
give you the juice. Like, you know what I'm trying to say.
I know what you're trying to. He
like,
won't give you more than what you can handle.
Yeah.
And it's true. It's very true. People, we just have to trust ourselves. But also, I'm telling you, it's the distractions of the world. It's like what we keep seeing around us. Social media, the technology is beautiful, but it's also, if you don't know how to handle it, it can be so destructive to a person's mind and self-esteem and growth. Because it just is. It's a little toxic sometimes. It
was designed though, specifically to keep us addicted to this. Like, there's pros and cons to everything.
Yeah.
However you use it, but it's a certain amount of strength that comes from, you have to know. Like, apart from, okay, we know. You can know that it's a distraction, but not have enough strength to not interact with the distraction, or think that you are strong enough, and then once you're in there, you're like, oh, shit, here I am again. And it's like, bro, this shit, there are things that are done intentionally, because we are so powerful, really, truly. And in order to keep this the way that it is, things gotta, but it is what it is, we truly, truly, truly are such powerful lights, and it's like, this is an invitation to the journey. You see what it is right now, and everything is temporary, right? But it's like, what you believe, what you truly believe that you are capable of, what you truly believe you are here to do, faith and fear cannot exist in the same space. They cannot. So it's like, truly, 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 if you believe, if you have these desires to pursue whatever it is that you want to pursue in service to humanity, as long as it, is beneficial to you and those around you, act on it. Act on it. There's nothing that is impossible. Truly believe that. I have seen too many things. I have been around too many people that know what's up, and it's just like, dog, we're here with purpose. And it's like, I really, 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 I'm excited. Okay, so a little bit more about Racquel. We done got into a humanitarian tangent, but so you act, you paint, What? Tell us a little bit more about what you do on the daily. Like you said, you do a lot of inner work.
Oh God. Okay, yeah.
Uh-huh.
So day to day, first of all, I have to have self time, like time with myself. Like I have to have a moment where I'm like, so I'll wake up, and the first thing I do is I pray. Like I get up, all right, sit down, close my eyes, and pray. And I actually picked up a devotional book about understanding prayer and how we're really supposed to pray.
The Book of Thomas. Is it reference to the Book of Thomas?
It's Miles Monroe. It's understanding the power of prayer.
So
it's good.
Okay, I just want to know if it's like the same. So there's a book in the Bible that was taken out called the Book of Thomas, and in the Book of Thomas, it actually teaches you how to pray. You pray as if it already is. Like you pray.
That's basically what. Yeah. It's like it's basically what he was saying, and he also tells you like how to set up a space for a prayer.
Okay.
Like it's like he gave like 12 steps in this one chapter that I'm reading, and I was like, oh, I was praying wrong. Like not wrong, but I was like it wasn't as powerful as it could be. So
you
I wake
give me
up.
This title.
Oh yeah, girl, I'll send it to you for sure.
Thank you.
So I wake up, I pray, do a little stretching, wake up the body. Hey, you good? We here? You feel that? We alive. All right, great. Then I get my journal. And I go have my coffee, and I drink my coffee, which I need to stop drinking coffee. But anyway, and
you could replace it with chicory. We can go.
I got some,
and I'm gonna give you some chicory. It's not caffeine, but it gives you it's dandelion root. It's dandelion and chicory. It comes from the same plant, so it's really good for you. It's a probiotic. It's a prebiotic. Don't quote me. It's good for you. But I'm gonna give you some. It gives me the tang of coffee. Like it makes me feel like I'm
yes, please.
coffee.
I would love to. Yes, I need some because I'm trying to. Got down to half a cup. Okay.
Okay, cool.
And so I do that, and then after I do that, I may go work out or something like that, and then I get into my work. So I'm painting that day. Let me not lie. I haven't painted in a minute. I'm mostly writing. I'll write, get myself together. I'm constantly writing. And then I'll get whatever posts I need to get ready for that day. But my schedule's up and down. So some days I got to go coach. And some days I do private lessons. And so depending upon what's within that schedule, I'll like shift and adjust. But I always, every day, it's that prayer, meditation, stretching, and journaling.
Yes.
I have like 10 journals. I've been journaling since 2015. I highly recommend people keep a journal because you get to see what cycles you're repeating. I'll go back and look at I'm like, girl, you still in the same, we're gonna fix this today. I was like, all right, put it on a sticky note, put it on the wall. Hey, be aware of this, because I know you'll notice the cycles that you repeat. So that's honestly the core of my day. Everything else can shift, but that's what I do every day.
Love that.
Yeah.
That's the foundation, right?
That's the foundation.
You checking in with your body, you're checking in with God, I love it. Man, I just started a routine let's say 2 years, but that's giving me a lot of you know.
But
a little, maybe a lot. We don't know. I don't know. I'm not a mathematician, but we're here. But with the routine, it's like, man, you really understand. I'm excited, bro. I'd be excited to wake up, live and maximize and get shit done, go to sleep, do it all over again. But it's like, really, when you do certain things, it's like we have to maintain this, right? Like in every department, you know what I'm saying? We have to in order to experience the best quality of life, you know? So it's like a routine is so important, right? And as I used to say, because I'm a creative, I can't operate in a space of just like structure, but that is literally the opposite. There is no way that I would be able to do what I'm doing as effectively as I am now without that structure.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Have you heard of, I really hate talking about stuff that I don't 100% I can't explain it to a 6th grader. But you're smart enough to bear with me. So, but Jerry Seinfeld, there's something called the stallion theory, right?
I've never heard of that.
And it's probably not the name. I'm gonna send you the YouTube clip, but we're gonna try to get through this. So, basically, he is relating the creative force to a stallion, right?
Oh wow.
It's powerful.
Yeah.
you know, you can do so much with it. But if you don't have the structure or the discipline to control or to be able to, you know, dictate where the stallion is going and how it's using its energy, then it becomes chaotic, and then it becomes destructive. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you have to learn how to control the stallion. I probably collaborated with that explanation.
Okay.
Very hard, but
that's very true. You do, once you discover like your thing, you do have to figure out, okay, how do you implement it? How do you control it? How do you, because once you tap into that stream, that line of creativity, it can be overwhelming because it's constant. It's like my brain never turns off. I'm constantly thinking of ideas and I want to do them now.
Yes.
And so it's like you're trying to feel like, okay, well, what is for now? What is for later? Because that's sometimes too how it goes. But or what do you need help with? You know, like, is this something that you need to collaborate with someone on, or is this something that you could do by yourself, or like how, like, it's this thing of like, so it doesn't overtake you. Yeah, it is a thing about like finding the structure and the groove of like creativity, for sure.
In order to execute, man, because you can have just be bombarded with all of these ideas, and then that was one of those many problems I was telling you about. That's one of them. It's like I'll have an idea, I'll start it, and I'll get to a point, and then I'll get another idea that I like better now, and then I'll just reroute, and like so many open tabs, you know.
That was the story of my life until I ain't gonna lie, till last year, the end of last year. It literally was, because but it was so much that it was affecting my physical body. So I was like, okay, no, I gotta stop. And it's like I had plans to do so much. I had like 2 weeks off, and to myself, I was like, oh yeah, I'm about to get into some work, yeah. And I got sick. Colds with me don't last long. 3 days max. This time I was sick for a week and a half.
Of the 2 weeks that you had?
Of the 2 weeks that I had. So I couldn't do nothing. My brain wasn't functioning right. I was exhausted beyond belief. I was really under the weather. And I said, this is funny, because I had a whole plan. All I had time to do was really tap into my devotional and pray and meditate and like, God, what do you want me to do? And so that's when clarity came about, and I got some dope answers. I was able to heal some things about myself that wasn't healed. And I was like, now going into the new year fresh. I always, like before, I used to go into the new year with a list of things that I wanted to do. Not this year. Literally, the only thing I wrote for this year is to be intentional about everything you do. That's it. And there's no list. I took the list away.
I love that.
So whatever I do, and I'm gonna just keep it moving.
I love that. I support whatever you got going on, for real. Just off of just you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So whatever like life has in store, I'm excited to watch it play out, because it's gonna be magical, because you're magical. You know what I'm saying? So like, we hit that 45-minute mark, so we could go a little longer, but we're gonna cut it right here. Racquel, thank you so much for camping out, man. And if you had, I don't know, anything to tell the people, it don't gotta be anything deep. Like, it don't gotta be really dope, but like, what crosses your mind right now? Anything?
Honestly, be intentional. Be intentional about everything, about career, friends, like what. Intentional. Just be intentional. That's it.
I love it. Yeah. And that's Project Intent. We gonna high five, because we do it every time.
Yay! I love it.
Yay! Thank you for camping out.
No, yes, this was amazing.